time of year again. Where's the road trip to?
Good question. Oh wait, the video just popped up.
Oh, really? Let's see.
It is the tails. That means that the lower part of the bracket will host in the state semifinals.
Oh my god! Holy crap, we won the coin toss!
Wait, we won? No road trips? Holy crap!
What are you doing?
We won the coin toss! No road trips! Woo!
I have no words for that except welcome to the show. Welcome to the quarterfinals of the high school playoffs, folks. You see the crew. We're all here except Jeff, but we're here. And Seth,
Caleb, can I see those dance moves again?
Yeah, let's
I
see
don't
those
even know
dance
why I was so excited. I don't even go on the road trips anymore, so I don't even know what I had to be excited about.
Well, it was exciting to be excited about, right?
Yeah.
It's exciting to be in the quarterfinals. Happy Thanksgiving,
That's right.
everyone.
Hey!
By the way, what's happening, guys? Walker, how's your bedroom treating you today?
Hey, I didn't have to go into work today.
That's
it's
awesome.
Thanksgiving holiday.
That's awesome.
We've had good vibes with the technology and everything too, getting set up behind the scenes. Me and Seth, no issues today. I mean, we were killing it today. It must be the apartment.
Shocking, right?
Absolutely shocking. Yep.
But no, it's good. It's good. And by the way, I know I said Happy Thanksgiving, but I think we need at some point, because we did last year, talk about our favorite Thanksgiving dishes, foods.
Dressing.
Oh, and there it is.
Dressing all the way.
How much?
I was going to
We're
say,
gonna-
do
we're
we
gonna
have the
institute
same
the pit for
conversation
this.
again, or are you going a different way?
Yeah, how much dressing?
Oh, as much as I can eat before my stomach starts to hurt.
So-
Gravy or no gravy on the dress?
All
gravy.
the gravy.
No
All
gravy.
the gravy.
Good.
What?
Okay,
Just straight
good,
up
good,
dressing.
good.
What?
I could do it with or without gravy.
If the dressing is good enough, this is the steak thing, which I'm not actually a big believer in, but I take the same mentality that some people take towards steak, in that if it's good enough, the gravy's unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's redundant.
See, the gravy, if it's good gravy, like it just adds to the
Adds to it,
dressing. The dressing
absolutely.
can be good enough as it is, but you add the gravy, it's just that extra little, something.
Yeah, it brings it up a level if it's good gravy. But I can eat it without gravy. Like, it's good. Anything else? Your favorite dish?
What, me?
I mean,
Well, no,
yeah,
everybody.
you got to go with the dark meat of the turkey, right?
Yeah. Traditionally, I am such a glutton that my family usually provides an extra turkey leg for me.
Turkey legs are good.
They're very good.
So do you get a turkey leg when you go to the fair?
Yep, did. 100%
Do you really?
did. I
So
did.
You're one of
yes.
those guys that walks around with a turkey.
What, you mean
just
one
iron-
of everyone there? Yes.
everyone?
Everyone there.
Do you? Nah. That just
I
seems
couldn't tell you the
gross.
last time I had a turkey leg.
They're
normally,
delicious. I
just,
don't know what
the-
everybody's tripping about, but they're delicious. So
Well, I'm
The-
not tripping.
The dark meat
'cause I'm
of the
sitting
turkey is
down.
the best part, for
Sa-
sure.
Save the neck for me.
save the neck for me,
Save
Clark.
the feet for me.
Save the neck for me, Clark.
Yeah, that's
Homemade mac and cheese, too.
That's good.
I mean,
Yeah, homemade mac, always good.
So do you like the sweet potato souffle stuff?
no.
Oh, I
Me
love
either.
it. I love it.
Do you?
The souffle? Are you kidding me? Oh,
Yeah,
my gosh.
I'm not a huge fan of
Destroy
sweet
that
potatoes.
thing.
Maybe
little marshmallow
I'm hoping,
topping, maybe a little pecan topping on there.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
hoping I might could share some of this with you,
Pecan
unless
or
I eat it
pecan?
all first.
I've always said
Let's
Let's
pecan.
go down
Pecan.
this. Let's go down this
Okay.
rabbit hole. Pecan
Number
or
one,
pecan,
it's not
bro?
a can that you pee in; it's a pecan. And if you have to pronounce it P, you can say pecan.
Or you can go SpongeBob, homemade peas in a can.
Could do that, I suppose.
There it is.
You know what? I'm just gonna leave. Goodbye, everyone.
What do you
How
call
about
them?
this? Join in the chat. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Yeah, everyone,
I've
let
got
us
the chat
know
pulled
your
up over
favorite
here.
Thanksgiving dishes. We'll make them.
I've
and
got to
we
throw
will
something at you though.
Pie Jeff in the face with them when
I
he gets back.
prefer ham over turkey.
I've never been a big ham guy. Country
See,
ham,
ham is a
yes.
Christmas. Is the Christmas meat.
I
Turkey's
agree.
the Thanksgiving
I
meat.
agree.
Ham's a
completely.
nothing meat. I've never liked just regular ham.
You don't like-
Country ham, yes. I don't like honey baked.
You don't like honey baked ham?
You're so
What?
wrong. You're so
like
wrong.
it.
All right.
I love
right,
every
Caleb.
other part of the pig. I don't like a honey baked ham. Country
No.
ham, yes.
Well, goodbye, Caleb. No more.
All right, this show's over.
No more of this madness, Caleb.
All right, let's move
You know,
on.
my parents were just up here. We had honey baked ham, and have you had honey baked turkey?
It's good.
Is
Very
it?
good.
It's really
yeah.
good. It's really good.
it is good. Cajun turkey superior though.
Yes,
in my mind.
I'll take a Cajun turkey too.
I will
but
too,
like the
but
honey baked
it's-
turkey,
it's hard.
yeah.
It's
Oven
really-
baked turkey or fried turkey.
It's really hard to beat a fried turkey.
1,000%.
Really hard to beat a fried turkey.
Fried,
Yeah,
without
yeah,
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to beat a fried turkey. Speaking of Thanksgiving, talking to a lot of coaches this week, as Seth brings in the noises and the turkey.
What do you mean me brings in the
No,
noises?
Oh, was that
wasn't-
Caleb?
That was Caleb.
That was good. Do it again. I didn't even notice.
That was totally Caleb. All Caleb, all day.
Too bad we don't have a mascot, a turkey mascot in our area. That would be kind of weird anyway.
Next
Who
year.
does Virginia Tech
Next
play this
year.
week?
I don't know.
They play Virginia, don't they?
Oh yeah, rivalry.
Not on the Commonwealth.
Commonwealth Cup.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, look, guys, here we are, quarterfinals, and talking to a lot of coaches this week that are still in the playoffs. That's the one thing they mentioned is it's great to be playing the week of Thanksgiving. And so we have 3 games in our area this week, 4 teams, 2 that are playing each other. Had a very good week last week, by the way. I mean, as Caleb called it, week 1, Black Friday. Week 2, we have what?
Good Friday.
Good Friday. For real. There you
Friday.
go. It was Good Friday. Commerce did fall to Toombs County, but the rest advanced. And now we have a great week set up here where we get to see once again the Region 8 3A tournament continue for the championship. Like, would this be 2 trophies for the winner of this game? Like if Bluff wins, it'll be their trophy. If Jefferson,
I was gonna say if Cherokee
Yeah.
Bluff
I think they both got a trophy for being co-region champs, didn't they?
if Cherokee Bluff wins,
this
I
should
would
be
be
the real one.
If Cherokee Bluff wins, I would be calling the region director and being like, "All right, listen, we need to get something straight here."
Yeah.
Because there's no way I'm wearing a co-champions patch if I then went on to win in the playoffs.
That's right,
In the,
yeah.
in the rematch.
Give me the trophy without co on it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a great game, although the first game was not that great for Cherokee Bluff as we jump on into talking about these matchups. Bluff held to 156 yards in the first game. Gavin Markey, just incredible, 206 rushing yards. He's been incredible in the playoffs, and incredible is Jefferson in the playoffs, averaging 43.5 points per game, only giving up 6. And it seems like, Walker, that the Oconee County loss really set fire to this Jefferson team.
Yeah, I mean that loss couldn't have come at a better time for Jefferson. If they were going to take one in the last game of the season to a team that you're going to probably end up playing in the playoffs at some point. Oconee County was a really good football team, and Jefferson did whatever they wanted to last week against the Warriors. Rhett Hippill was insane good. On the defensive side for the Dragons, 12 tackles, a pick six, a forced fumble, and also a 10-yard rushing touchdown as well.
right.
I mean, we talk about Gavin Markey and all he's done, Caleb. Rhett Hemphill might be the MVP right now for Jefferson based off of all the things he just does for the Dragons on all 3 sides of the football.
I don't disagree. And, it's just the overall defense for Jefferson. When they are on, when they are right, they can just be overwhelming. And they can just make nothing else on the football field matter but them. You can get to a point with that Jefferson defense when they lock in and when they sink their teeth into you, the game's over. There's just nothing that you're going to be able to do. And we kind of saw that in the Oconee County game last week. Gavin Markey continues to be, I think, dynamic enough that when the Jefferson defense plays like that, then he can just go and break a game wide open. And so it's a really dangerous combination they've got going right now. I know we're not talking about North Hall at the moment, but because everybody that in our area in 3A is on this, like three of the 4 teams on the left side of the 3A bracket are in our area. So it becomes hard to not mention one of the other 2 when you're talking about any one of them. I was talking to Sean Pender, and he talked a little bit about, and Bo, you mentioned this on the show earlier, there has been a little bit of a battle cry at North Hall of get back to Bluff. get back to Cherokee Bluff, the last team that beat them. And when I talked to him, he said, that is still the battle cry. They know if they keep winning and Bluff keeps winning, they will match up. But he did say, Bo, towards the end of that, he said, now, we've got our work cut out for us, and Cherokee Bluff has definitely got their work cut out for them. This feels like a final exam for Cherokee Bluff. They didn't do anything offensively in that first game, and we know how good this defense is. You've had a month to kind of lick your wounds, get back up off the mat. Now you're going back into the scene of the crime. Can you figure out anything offensively in this football game? It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Talking to Coach Jones yesterday just about this game, and I asked him, from a coaching perspective, is there anything that you can take from game one to this game, watching game film of Jefferson since October 25th? And he really didn't have a firm answer on that, but he did mention about the speed that Jefferson plays, in which they play on both sides of the ball, but especially defensively. He said, once you see that one time and then you try to get used to it, by then, you saw the result. So I'm thinking that he realizes the speed that Jefferson brings at him, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They've seen it once. Is that going to help them in this game? I'm not sure, but you guys were talking about the defense. The defensive line of Jefferson is kind of like, the motor that wreaks the havoc first, and then the linebackers of Jaden Yang, Red Hemphill, Max Brown, who leads the team in tackles, comes in and finishes the job. So the box might be the best in Class 3A, and Coach Jones said it's the best defense that they'll face. So, you get them twice. What have you learned the first time, and can you break it the second time? That's the biggest question that I have. And watching Jefferson play Walker last week, unbelievable defense.
Well, and that kind of just you lead right into my biggest key for the game. And I said this the first time that these two teams played, and it reigns true here as well. Can Cherokee Bluff figure out how to run the football? Because where they're the most successful and where they've been the most successful all year is off the play action game, allowing for Brooks Bryan to get the linebackers to come up, maybe catch some corners or safeties peeking into the backfield, and allowing KT Thompson to get over the top. That's where they've been the most successful all year. They have to be able to establish a running game. Even if it's not super successful, they've got to get 2 or 3 yards at least every other time that they're running the football, just to make Jefferson's defensive front, that front seven, have to hesitate a little bit before coming after Brooks Bryan or dropping into pass coverage, right? If Connor Griffin doesn't get going and that running back core that Cherokee Bluff has, because they have 3 or 4 guys back there that are all really good, if they can't get anything going, I just don't know how Cherokee Bluff is able to move the ball, because that allows Caleb, that front seven that Bo talked about, that box that's the best in 3A, they can pin their ears back and they can come after Brooks Bryan with reckless abandon, because if the running game's not there, Brooks Bryan's going to have to throw the ball, and Cherokee Bluff's offensive line, I just don't know how they stop 6 or 7 guys that Jefferson can throw at them at any given time.
And that's one aspect of it, but the other aspect of it, and you talked a little bit earlier about trying to free up the passing game and talked a little bit about KT Thompson, and the thing of it is, it's not necessarily about getting those corners to cheat up on the run game. It's can you get a KT Thompson into a one-on-one situation? Because if Jefferson can just shut down the running game with the box and they don't have to worry about anything else, then all of a sudden they can play 2 high, shells, they can go 3 high even in some situations. Now KT Thompson's not able to just beat his man and get over the top. You've got to force Jefferson into some situations where they can't play with 2 or 3 high safeties. They've got to play some cover 0. They've got to play some cover 1, and then you can allow KT Thompson a one-on-one opportunity, and that's where, regardless of the caliber of corner that's lined up across from him all year, we've seen him be able to make explosive plays. And then Malcolm Millsap obviously started to do it a little bit too, and we saw that against Luella last week as well. But if you can't get those guys into one-on-one situations, they're not going to beat 2 guys. Like, you're not going to hit the big play when you've got safeties back behind them. So that's kind of the reality there for Cherokee Bluff. I agree with you completely. They're going to have to get something out of the running game. It doesn't have to be much. You don't have to run for 150 yards. You don't have to have, one of your backs go over 100. But if you can get me 70 on the ground, 75,
I was about to say 70, 80, something like that.
Well, I
that
gotta
would
say,
be huge.
Oconee had success with their tight ends. Of course, they had two big tight ends, downfield. They also had some success with their receivers. Now, granted, they only scored 6 points in that game against Jefferson. Jefferson definitely on a mission in that game. I think Bluff has to ugly this game up as much as possible to be in it, late in the second half. And you do talk about being able to run the football, but you're trying to run the football against a defensive front led by Keelan Butler that's all over the place. So you might have to go the other, like you're saying, break it up with a pass, and then hopefully the run game comes with it. But I think I personally think that Bluff's going to have to ugly this game up.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you say Bluff needs to ugly up the game. I think Jefferson, if they were a horse, they'd be a mutter. I think they love an ugly football game. So
that's true too.
I don't know that that's really the strategy, because I feel like that's when Jefferson's at their. That's the kind of football they want to play.
It is the kind of football they want to play.
Football in a phone booth.
But ugly it up and have some success. That's the hope there for Bluff. And the other question that I had that I asked both coaches kind of off the record, so I'm not going to say what their answers were. But you look at this game, does the loser of the first game have a better advantage over the winner of the first game? I mean, because you feel you play a team twice, you get beat pretty bad the first time, you have extra motivated. Maybe you have that extra motivation because you're going to throw everything at it. But then Jefferson comes in, and we know how dominant they've been. So I don't know. That's the question that I had, and neither coach really answered it. So
that depends entirely, at least to me. What was the mentality of that Cherokee Bluff team when they got on the bus the night after that Jefferson game? Mm-hmm. Was it one of, I can't believe that just happened, we're going to make sure that never happens again? Or was it one of, boy, I hope we don't see those guys again?
The crazy thing is,
they would never say if it was the latter, but I wish that if you knew the answer to that, I think you'd be able to make a pretty good call in this football game.
Absolutely.
The crazy thing is we talked so much about Cherokee Bluff's offense against Jefferson's defense. We could talk just as long about what Cherokee Bluff's defense has got to do to try and stop Gavin Markey. Like that's how interesting this game is with the rematches.
It is so interesting.
There's so many storylines.
And the storyline to that answer, if you watch the game film or if you watch the game from last week, the success that Cherokee Bluff's offensive line had was incredible. And you have to expect that coming into this week, the movement they had. And basically it was like, hey, stop Gavin. Until you stop Gavin, we're going to keep running Gavin. And that's exactly what happened.
I don't think Cherokee Bluff is winning a game where they don't score at least 28 points, though, anyway. So I don't know.
I agree.
And Jefferson's not a team that's gonna go put 50 up on the board every week against a good defense. That's not how they're built. Right. That's not the brand they play. So I don't even know that side of the ball is really what I'm looking at, because I think if what we saw in the first game on the other side between the Cherokee Bluff offense and the Jefferson defense happens, it's not going to matter. Yeah. It's not going to matter. Jefferson will get what they need to get and move on to the next round happily. So that to me is where this game gets decided.
Hey, and before we move on to the North Hall game, Bluff has been a survivor in the playoffs so far. So who knows what's going to happen at Memorial Stadium. You can hear the game live on FM 102.9 coming up on Friday. All right, LaGrange at North Hall. You were just talking to Sean Pender about both North Hall and Bluff having a really tough test to get back to that game against each other in the semifinals. LaGrange might be, Caleb, the hottest team in Class 3A right now in the playoffs.
Blowing out everybody they play on the road, just smacked Lumpkin County in Dahlonega a couple of weeks ago, and then did the same thing to Sandy Creek on the road, who I'm pretty sure beat them in the regular season. So I would say right now, I mean, if what you end up getting in the semifinals is Jefferson, LaGrange, you're getting the two hottest teams in the state. Mm-hmm. But obviously Cherokee Bluff and North Hall are going to try to do something about that. Man, can you believe we've gotten this deep into the show? We didn't even talk about what happened at the Brickyard last week. Like, holy cow.
Oh, it was
like, what a finish that was.
Insane.
Unbelievable.
More magic. More magic. And Walker, I know you and I talked yesterday about LaGrange, and you hit me because LaGrange does not put their stats, online, so I could not go back and look at some of their stats, and I hadn't read the daily yet. And you hit me with the return of a key running back for LaGrange that is tearing it up in the playoffs.
Yeah, Malachi Fannin Render. Just go ahead and put that name down for all the North Hall faithful that are watching the show and that are going to listen to the game on 94.5 The Lake on Friday night. Malachi Fannin Render. If North Hall can stop him, North Hall's going to win the game handily. LaGrange just feeds off of Fannin Render's running game. He ran for 197 yards and 3 touchdowns against Lumpkin County, put up 220-something yards and 3 touchdowns against Sandy Creek. Oh, by the way, when Sandy Creek lost or beat LaGrange in the regular season, Fannin Render only ran it 4 times. He only played 4 plays in that game. He's the difference in the second-round matchup against Sandy Creek for LaGrange. That's the biggest key. Can North Hall figure out how to slow down the running game that has been so successful in this playoff run for LaGrange? I don't think there's any other key really to look for other than LaGrange is going to run the football. And if they're able to get Fannin Render some space and let him get chunk plays and they put up 35 points, I don't know if North Hall scores enough to be able to keep up because LaGrange's defense has been playing well as well. But if this game is 21-14, I like North Hall's chances.
The scary thing to me for North Hall is what you just talked about Fannin Render, the running back for LaGrange. He is so explosive. He's so fast when he gets into open field. When you look at North Hall's run defense in the playoffs, they've been largely effective. Like on a play-to-play basis, they're stopping the run. But their problem in the playoffs has been they have given up some big plays on the ground. You were there for the Gilmer game. You saw that happen a couple of times. It happened a few times, several times in the Upson Lee game. In the first half, it led to points. The second half, not so much. But that's the thing. You can stop this guy. You can have 10 straight plays where he doesn't gain a yard. And then you have one play where you don't fit a gap right, Bo.
He's 65 yards and in the end zone.
65 yards, touchdowns, and what you did the last 10 plays doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. And, Gilmer, of course, brought in a different offense. I'm not sure. Has anybody watched game film on LaGrange? What offense do they run?
It's a spread. It's a
spread. Okay.
It's a spread style, but it's run heavy.
It's run heavy. Absolutely run heavy. So we saw that against Gilmer, North Hall, Gilmer, and how that worked out for them. So, when you see that type of offense, obviously a little bit different, but still you're a heavy run. So, with North Hall's defensive line, it's played fairly well in the playoffs. It's actually played fairly well since about the White County game, and they're physical. So I think they have that on their side. But I don't know if they've faced a running back like this at all this year. This is probably going to be the best rushing attack maybe that they've faced this season. Now, go back to the Upson Lee LaGrange game. Was Fannin Render in that game? I'm trying to...
The last game of the season, I think so.
Okay, so it was 18-14. They beat Upson Lee, or Upson Lee beat them, right?
Upson Lee. Yeah, Upson Lee beat LaGrange.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Upson Lee
Had a
beat
hiccup
LaGrange.
there.
So
had to try to power through.
So if you're gonna take that into fact, I mean, I don't know if you can really, but 18-14 game against Upson Lee, and then North Hall holds off Upson Lee. Maybe it was a Brickyard Magic, but like you said, I agree with everyone here. The biggest key is Fannin Render. Can they slow him down, and can they keep the big plays from happening? They're probably going to give up a big play to this kid.
Well, listen, I don't care when anybody don't let anybody lie to you. Brickyard Magic's 100% real. And like Walker said, if this game is close late, I would be terrified.
I have to tell
if I was a LaGrange fan.
I would be too. I have to tell the story about someone that came in here to the station. I think an advertiser that asked me about the Brickyard Magic and like, who said that? And I'm like, well, we say it all the time here.
I don't know who said it first.
I don't know who said it first, but and then he asked, is it haunted? I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean,
That's what I told Walker. Walker was like, hey, LaGrange is playing really well on the road. I'm like, yeah, what's their record in stadiums that are haunted? Because that's what I want to know. Hey, how about this? How about visiting teams at the Brickyard in this postseason run? 0 for 4 on game-winning field goal tries in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. 0 for 4.
Roll the Jeff Hart stat of the show there.
None of them were close.
things you
Well, one of them
need
was
to
close.
know. It's Jeff Hart's interesting stat of the show.
All of them were
Hold on. I was in the middle. We're gonna try this again. I was in the middle of like highlights, so we're gonna do this again. Okay.
Okay, go.
All right. Hold on.
And action. And go.
Here's some things you need to know. It's Jeff Hart's interesting stat of the show.
now with 100% less Jeff Hart.
Well, hold on.
Oh, you're going to throw his photo up?
Hold on a
Here
second.
It comes.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, but Jeff didn't do this stat. This is all.
Yeah, this is all. There it is.
There he is. Look at that face.
Look at Jeff.
All right. 0 for 4.
Here's our music. Let's go.
Opposing teams on game-winning field goal tries late in the last 2 minutes against North Hall. Gilmer 0 for 2, Upson Lee 0 for 2. All of them were like close in. They were like less than 30 yards.
Except the last one against Upson Lee because it was blocked.
Yeah, and if you're counting the,
I think that counts as a missed field goal. Though.
Hold on though.
It does, but it wasn't close. Is
yeah,
what
it
I
was.
was saying.
Remember, there was a
Well,
penalty on
when
the
I
play.
say close,
You're
I
right.
mean they were
0 for
like
2.
it was less than 35 yards. It was not a long field goal attempt.
By the way, I have another Jeff Hart stat of the show for you.
Here's some things you need to know. It's Jeff Hart's interesting stat of the show.
That's 3 times in the show I've got to do that. North Hall 16-2 all-time playoff games at home.
I don't think they've lost one since like 2004, 3,
yeah,
something like that.
Gosh, I cannot remember the
that
year
it?
it
It's been
was.
a long
But
time.
yeah, it's been a
Stats?
long time. Yeah, that's all of Jeff's stats. So
You
Okay.
brought
Bye-bye,
up that
Jeff.
number 16-2. Is that the number?
yeah,
I think they've won 15 straight. I think I'm right about
sounds
that.
right.
That
I
sounds
think they've won 15 straight home playoff games. So if something happens and when the game gets close in the fourth quarter, you start to get that vibe like, all right, what's going to happen this time?
So North Hall has now won 14 straight playoff games at the Brickyard. There's your answer. Thank you, Jody Kinney, for sharing those stats. The win gives North Hall their 5th 10-win season, by the way, in 68 years. So there's you some more stats on this game. I mean, do you feel good about North Hall's chances in this game against LaGrange, it being at the Brickyard? Is that like they give added points in the playoff ranking system for a home game? Would this be like triple the points for North Hall?
The thing that just scares me the most is the big play potential of LaGrange, because North Hall's been susceptible to giving up big plays, and Fannin Render is arguably the best running back in AAA right now. I mean, he's committed to Liberty. I think he finished the regular season second most rushing yards in 3A, either second or third. That's what scares me the most about this game, even though it is at the Brickyard. It hasn't mattered where LaGrange has played because Fannin Render has ran on everybody on whatever field he's been on.
If Fannin Render has 100 yards rushing or less and only 1 touchdown at max, North Hall will win the football game. Point blank.
Agreed.
Agree, 100%. All right, let's move on to the other big game on the schedule. North Gwinnett at Buford. I want to tee this one up for you, Caleb. North Gwinnett's defense, if you look at them on paper, absolutely incredible what they bring to the game. 188 tackles for a loss, 47 sacks, 91 quarterback hurries, forced 19 turnovers, combined interceptions and fumbles. So
they're really good at linebacker, and they've got a really high-level edge player, Cole Thunderberg, who's committed to Wake Forest. He's got 10 sacks on the season. The big thing, and I've tried to watch a little of North Gwinnett this week, just not really terribly familiar with what they've got. And we watched Buford just smack Lowndes up and down the football field Friday night. That Lowndes team I thought was tailor-made to get smacked by Buford because they were not very big physically.
Yeah.
Buford was able to, as long as Buford could keep the game in a phone booth, Lowndes was never going to have a chance, and that's exactly what happened. I don't know that Buford's not capable of doing that to North Gwinnett. I will say this is a totally different type of football team that they're playing this week. North Gwinnett is big. They actually are going to outsize Buford by a little bit on the lines of scrimmage, which was definitely not the case with Lowndes. So this is a more big physical team that I think might be a little more comfortable in a phone booth fist fight than Lowndes was. Now, I'm not saying that Buford can't still win that fist fight, I'm just saying, I don't know if that maybe lends itself to maybe Buford feeling the need to open things up a little bit more. But I don't know, Walker. The way they're playing right now, I think they're pretty comfortable with what they're doing, just getting back to the basics of running the football.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We talked about somebody in region play having a bigger front seven or offensive line than Buford. Didn't we? Maybe Collins Hill?
Maybe.
I think it was Collins Hill.
And what did Buford do to Collins Hill?
Yeah, that's
34-7.
That's true.
Exactly. So like that, I don't have any qualms or issues with Buford's offensive line being outsized by the defensive line, because I think that Buford's just more physical than everybody else, and that allows Justin Baker to run the football for nearly 1,000 yards this year at this point. I think the biggest question for me in this game is, can Buford's defense just keep doing what they have been doing and be in the backfield pressuring quarterbacks all the time and allowing that secondary, which we've kind of talked about maybe being the weak point of the Buford defense a little bit, allow the secondary to be able to defend one-on-one in short spurts as opposed to allowing quarterbacks to extend plays. That's what's kind of hurt Buford in the past few years. Think back to Milton in the state quarterfinals 2 years ago. Weren't able to get pressure in the backfield, long pass plays, hard to defend that long. Milton runs up the score. If Buford can get in the backfield and pressure North Gwinnett and the quarterback, and get in the backfield Ryan Hall and try and pressure him and not allow him to throw for, as much as he's been able to throw for, 24 touchdowns on the year, just three picks and nearly 1,900 yards passing. If they can get in the backfield and make him get off of his spot and have to throw the ball quicker than he wants to, I think Buford's going to have a lot of success in Glory Lambeau. But if the defense can't get to the quarterback, this could be a lot more of an interesting game than a lot of people might think, given that Buford's playing at home and how they are playing right now.
Well, you guys have talked about Buford getting back to what they do best, and that's running the football. So, but you also look at Dayton Raiola, who has stepped up and has made some plays for them. He's got to be careful against a secondary that has 19 interceptions. So you got some ball hawks in that secondary for North Gwinnett. And the other factor, Caleb, is this is kind of a rival game, even though they haven't played the last 24 years. But it's North Gwinnett and Buford. They're very close to each other. Does that give any added motivation to North Gwinnett rolling in, knowing that this is the final game, or could be the final game, if they win it at Tom Ryden Stadium?
I got a lot of family that went to these two schools back when they used to play each other, and this used to be the game for these two schools back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This was the game for Buford and for North Gwinnett. Rivalry died off. North Gwinnett they grew way faster than Buford did, and so it kind of went the way of Jefferson. It's kind of the same thing that's happened to Jefferson Commerce. But now they're playing again, and I think that the kids playing, I think there's going to be plenty of animosity because of the GFL, because these kids grew up playing against each other. They live, just down the road from each other. So I think I think it's going to feel like a rivalry for the players. Now, how much does that really get felt by, some of the younger fans? If you're a 35-year-old Buford fan who played in the 2000s, how much do you really care about North Gwinnett? I don't really know. But I tell you what, the OGs are going to care. The people who went to these schools in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they're going to care about what happens Friday night. That's for sure. I want to get back to something you said, Bo, about the turnovers, because that was the thing, looking at kind of the statistical profile for North Gwinnett, that stood out to me, is how much they dominate the turnover battle all season. They have, I want to say, 30 takeaways in total on the season. You talked about all the interceptions. They get a lot of interceptions. They've also forced a ton of fumbles. I think they forced like 18 fumbles and recovered 11 of them on the season. So they're like 30 turnovers on the year, and then they hardly ever turn the ball over on offense. And so what you've got is a team that on average is finishing like +2 in the turnover margin every single week. If that happens, North Gwinnett's got a good shot to pull the upset. So that, to me, is another key, is can Buford avoid turnovers? If Buford has less than 2 turnovers, I feel pretty good about them taking care of business at home.
If I put this game at like an over-under of 38.5, that's 21-17 would be an under.
I might take the over, because I could see Buford if they don't turn the ball over and if they are handling things on the line of scrimmage, maybe scoring a couple touchdowns late, kind of like they did against Collins Hill, where it was kind of a rock fight for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden Buford starts opening it up in the 4th. I could see that possibly. So I would probably lean the over, but I don't think that's a bad number.
I don't think it's a bad number
I think
either.
it's a great line.
I think it might be just exactly that. When you talk about these two teams facing each other, when you bring in, they haven't played in forever, the old school rivalry, even though Buford's won 22 times in this 28-year rival they have, our series. But yeah, I do believe that this is going to be a just, as you said, rock fight, if you want to call it that, or slugfest, or good old-fashioned slobber knocker. That kind of sounds better anyway. But it's exciting to get this matchup, in the playoffs. And then, you look ahead in this bracket. I mean, it could be, is it Carrollton?
Yeah.
And
Carrollton's going to beat Hillgrove.
Yeah. So
I hate to
Carrollton,
spoil things for
the
everybody,
winner
but
of
they're
this
gonna
game.
be
Carrollton's traveling to either Buford or North
That's
Gwinnett
right.
next week.
Yep. So, gotta
By
love
the
it.
way, we're guaranteed at least 2 football teams from Gwinnett County in the 6A semifinals, because you've got a cross Gwinnett County matchup here,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the opposite corner of the bracket, you've got a cross Gwinnett County matchup with Grayson and Collins Hill.
Yeah.
So you're guaranteed 2 Gwinnett County teams in the semifinals.
Can I bring up 2 things before we move on?
2 things.
That it doesn't have to do with this game.
Bring it.
Number 1, shout out to LCA.
Yeah.
App State
absolutely.
champions. We haven't talked
Absolutely.
about them. What a great story for them, going to win the state championship and their first one in program history. I mean, and the way they did it, pretty dominant throughout the entire season. So credit to the Lightning. I don't know if you guys want to chime in here, but the season that they had and the way that they were able to win the state championship, I think definitely deserves a shout
Well,
out.
I will say it's good to see that program continuing to grow. Just going to throw this out there. I thought it was great they played Lakeview and Riverside this year.
Yeah.
Saw them play, actually, I think 2 GHSA schools this year.
Let's see where this
and I
is
think
going.
go 1-1 against them.
Let's see where this is going.
Is the GIAA
There it
in
is.
the near future for the Lightning?
I think it should be.
I'm just going to throw it out there.
Ooh.
From a football standpoint, I think they're ready for it.
I think they're ready for it as well, and it gives them more teams to play, in a division. So yeah, I think so too. But yeah, hats off to LCA. Tough game with Cherokee Christian. They pulled it out, won that thing 14-13 in their first state championship. So let's tip of the hat to LCA and their state championship. All right, you got one other thing. You said 2 things.
Yes, I do. Can we take a second and just say how terrible of a job ESPN did at doing any sort of research before putting Georgia Tech on Friday night?
Oh boy. Well, yeah, and
Like, it's state football playoffs in Georgia, like one of the bigger high school football states in America.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's just throw the biggest rivalry game in college football in the state on Friday night at the exact same time as all those games.
Well,
just makes a lot of sense, right?
I hate everything that I hate the fact that they're playing this year on a Friday. I hate that they're playing the Georgia Tech game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we messing with this game? Like, play it on Saturday at the home campuses. I don't understand why we're getting all experimental with the Georgia Tech game all of a sudden. Doesn't need it.
I have no idea either, other than the fact Friday ESPN controls the deal. But I will say this: Georgia High School tried to fix this, and then Hurricane Helene said, "Sorry,
Yeah, that's
not
true.
going to happen."
But
So-
even still,
but
like
even still, it
ESPN
should
didn't
be on a
announce
Friday.
this for Friday night until like 3 weeks ago. Like that was we knew we were playing high school football on Friday.
Oh,
night
wait, no, but
when
they-
ESPN
no.
announced it.
Oh, you're talking about the time slot.
Yeah, the time slot.
We
Yeah,
knew
we knew
gonna
it was
be-
Friday.
Yeah,
but,
we knew it was going to
yeah.
be Friday.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be Friday, but we all knew.
You could have put that game at
but look,
like noon.
we all knew as soon as ESPN took over the complete contract of the SEC, we all knew that there was going to be a Thursday or Friday game possibly tossed in there with SEC teams. Now, did I think it would be Georgia? Absolutely not.
Like the Egg Bowl would have been perfect because
Perfect.
normally we get that on Thanksgiving night. Now that's in the noon window on
Yeah.
Friday. Like
Yeah.
that's not Egg Bowl time.
yeah,
Right.
No, it's not. So I agree with you,
I
Walker.
don't hate night game for Georgia Tech. Don't get me wrong, but Friday night.
It's going to be electric in Athens.
Every time ESPN touches high school
Yeah,
football
will
in
it though?
Georgia, they
Because
ruin
we've got so many good high school games too.
I know, but there'll still be people that say, I'll watch it, on my phone or something and go to the Georgia Tech game. So
Okay.
you know how that works. But we'll be somewhere. We'll be at a high school game. watching the Tech
I'll be
Georgia
watching
game on our
Buford
phone.
and North
That's
Gwinnett
right.
on the TV.
That's right. Well, let's move on to our pick'em. Unless you got another thing, Walker. We good?
Oh, that was my two things.
Okay, 2 things. All right, let's move on to the rundown picks. Y'all ready?
I'm ready. Let's
You ready?
do it.
You ready?
Rapid fire.
We've actually got more than 3 picks
I
this
did.
week.
I put some more games in here.
Well done.
So also put some more games in Dark Horse Dogs. All right.
Dogs.
North Gwinnett at Buford. We're just going to start at the top. Who you got?
The
What's the
order is
order?
me, Seth, Bo, and Caleb.
There you go.
Okay, so
I'm
me
just gonna
first. I'm
leave
going to take
leave the
Buford.
pip screen on for this. I'm not gonna keep switching.
I'm going to take the Wolves. They've been so dominant rushing the ball. I don't see that stopping. I'm going to take Buford to win this one, and I think comfortably.
Wolves as well, favored by 17. Think it could be more than that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Wolves. I think they'll wear them down and get the win there.
I got Buford.
Cherokee Bluff at Jefferson.
No, do we have Jeff's picks?
No.
Jeff has not put his picks in at this point.
I sent him the email, so maybe he'll get to it. Wah, wah.
I need to do a faster version
Yeah,
of
you
that. That
do.
is so slow.
All right, Cherokee Bluff at Jefferson. Go.
I think this game's a lot closer than it was the first time around, but Jefferson's playing too well at home right now. I'm going to take the top-seeded Dragons.
Agreed. Jefferson at home. I'd love to see this a crazy close game, which it still very well could be. I'm going to take Jefferson though.
I think Bluff can, but will they? Give me the Dragons.
Yeah, I got Jefferson too.
LaGrange at North Hall.
I'm going to take Fannin Render and LaGrange. I think that rushing game is just too hot right now. They've done it on the road. They've beaten Sandy Creek and Lumpkin County in Dahlonega. I'm going to take LaGrange. I think this one's close. And if it is close, North Hall's going to win and I'll lose the pick. But I'm going with the hot hand.
Well, I'm going to counter you and say that the hot hand seems actually to be in the Brickyard for their record. So I'm taking North Hall in this one and a little bit continuation of the Brickyard Magic streak.
By the way, you might want to take some hot hands with you on Friday night if you're going to the game because it's going to be cold.
That was lame.
Yeah, I know it was. I had to say
However,
I
I
like it,
did
though.
order
I
a
like
pair
it,
of
though.
gloves
I had
and
to say-
receive
I had to
them.
say it, though.
I did indeed
You can put
order.
some in your shoes too, and it would keep your feet.
I just wear warm socks. I did order a pair of gloves after last week.
Yeah.
I 100% did.
So
Smart.
you might
Smart.
need 2 pairs of gloves Friday night.
I don't think I'd be able to operate camera with 2 pairs of gloves.
Is there enough magic left over at the Brickyard is the biggest question. You talked about Fannin Render, 416 total yards in the playoffs, 6 touchdowns.
Something like that,
I
and 6
believe
touchdowns.
is his line on that. LaGrange hot. Give me the Grangers.
I have picked against North Hall how many times this year? A lot.
A lot.
I was
Yeah.
walking in here today thinking I'm taking LaGrange in this one, but I tell you what, the more we talked about what happened last Friday, I don't think it's happening. I don't. I think North Hall's getting this one. I don't think North Hall's losing in that building this year. I'll say it, point blank. I think if they might lose, I don't know that I'm picking them to win the state title. They're not losing in that building this year. I'm convinced at this point, so I'm taking
Didn't they
North Hall.
lose the first game of the season at home?
Nope, that was Wesleyan.
Was it at
was
Wesleyan?
at
I couldn't
Wesleyan.
remember.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wesleyan.
fair enough.
They've won, 10 straight? So, Collins Hill at Grayson. What you got?
I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the home team. I think the Eagles are good, but I'm going to take Grayson just based off pedigree.
Oh, I thought you and Caleb might do the fly, eagle, fly on this one together.
That would have been funny.
No,
Seth,
Sorry.
your turn.
Your turn, Seth. And go.
I'm going to go Grayson as well.
Give me the Eagles. Collins Hill. I'll take them.
this is a de facto, like, get into the state championship game, I think. Like, the winner of this one, I think, is playing in the state championship on the other side.
No confidence in West Forsyth?
We'll see.
Give me Collins Hill on the road. Their defense is playing really, really well. Give
Yeah.
me Collins Hill.
It is.
Cartersville at North Oconee. Oh, yeah.
This game is in Bogart, so I'm taking North Oconee.
Agreed. North Oconee.
Yeah, the line's really close in this one. I didn't write it down because I think it's less than 3.
It's minus
No,
16
it's minus 6.
you
Never
have
mind.
here.
Never mind.
Yep.
Wrong one. Give me Give me the Titans.
I got North Oconee.
East Side at Creekside.
The Side Bowl.
Yeah. That would be great.
What would Thanksgiving be without the sides?
I'm going to take a bowl to the side of your head, is what I'm going to do.
This was tough.
What's East Side's mascot?
Eagle. I'll make my pick, too. I got East Side.
I don't know, man.
I'll you know what? I'll do East Side, too. I'll fly a little bit. I got to crouch my hands in because my camera angle's so tight.
Little crow over there.
I saw Creekside last year in that semifinal game. Give me Creekside.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, who cares? My record's terrible.
Season's almost over, but
Yeah.
Lanierland show's coming soon.
That's right. Stevens County and Appling County.
The Indians are playing really good football right now. But how far of a trip is it to Appling County?
Long.
Call Dan Kiley. He'll let you know.
Yeah,
No, he's never been to Appling. He's been to, you're thinking of Crisp County.
Crisp. Apples. Appling.
An apple pie. Ooh. I'm going to take Appling County. Long road trip from Toccoa, Thanksgiving, go to sleep on the bus, come out lethargic. That's my backing there.
That's a tough one for me. I saw the Stevens County team early this year, and looking pretty dominant. Can only imagine they've gotten better since. I'm going to say they make the road trip and they get the win. And say they stay awake on that bus ride in anticipation.
Cue the tomahawk chop. Give me Stevens County.
This is, Stevens County's going to put the trip in tryptophan this week. That's all I got.
He'll be here all week. Please tip our waitresses.
We're going to call this one a tryptophan special. Give me,
2 times.
Give me Appling County.
Northeast
I'm ashamed of myself.
at Fannin.
Fannin struggled last week. First time we've really seen them have to play a football game, a tight football game in the fourth quarter. I'm going to keep going with the guys from Blue Ridge, but is the magic running out up there? Questions?
Give me Fannin.
Fire the cannons. Give me the Rebels.
I feel like I kind of disrespected Fannin County earlier in the year when I picked Rabun County to beat them, and they just kind of smacked Rabun County. So consider this an apology for that. I'll take Fannin County.
Elbert County at Toombs County.
Did we see the score line last week against a better rushing attack than Elbert has? Yeah, this game could get ugly fast. Toombs County.
Toombs.
By the way, I just realized, where's your hat, Walker?
I'll go get it before Dark Horse Dogs.
Okay.
All right. Whose pick? Mine? Give me Toombs.
Yeah, I got
I'm not going
Toombs.
to pick against Toombs for the second
I
week
got
in a row.
Toombs.
All right. And finally, West Forsyth at Douglas. Do the Wolverines
I
have a
like
shot
what the
here?
Wolverines have been doing. Road ends here. Douglas.
I'll coattails that. Douglas.
Yeah, Douglas.
Music shifted.
I
threw
got
me
Douglas
off.
County as well.
Okay, well, guess what? It's time to get to the dogs. The dogs.
Horse
Dogs.
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 Horse dogs.
And there it is.
There you go.
I kind of dig that hat. It's not a bad hat.
It's a nice hat.
Yeah. Who sent you that hat?
Wyatt Burgess.
Wyatt. Well, it is a good
So
looking
I
hat,
am
by the
wearing
way.
it. Their season's over. Great season. But I do have an Oconee County hat now. So here we go.
All right, so the
Can we get a Quay Walker style tossing of the hat here? Because I know you don't enjoy wearing that thing.
I put the headphones on already.
Listen, I feel
Well,
that
okay.
one. I feel that one.
There we
Walker.
go.
There it is.
Turn that into a GIF.
All right, the pick order is me, Seth, Caleb Walker. Ready?
Action.
I
Go.
guess.
I have no clue I'm going to pick.
I don't even-
No clue. No clue at all.
The lines we have on here, because we have our 3 area games, Buford and North Hall and Jefferson, Cherokee Bluff. Bo also put Carrollton on here, -35 against Hillgrove. Morgan County -4 against Rockmart. North Oconee 16-point favorite. Thomas County Central 8-point favorite over Hughes. Stevens 6-point underdog against Appling County. Peach County -10 versus Calhoun. Toombs 24-point favorite against Elbert. And Blessed Trinity, nice pick there on the underdogs, Bo. -12 versus Benedictine. That's interesting.
It is interesting. By the way, Walker, you won last week, so you're at 10 points. Caleb covered, so he's at 3. Everybody else at 0. Speaking of that game, I'm going to pick Benedictine +12.
It's an excellent pick.
My turn or Seth?
Me, but I got to finish typing.
Seth's turn.
I have to finish typing.
We're about to go to the third picker.
Then do it. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Let's see. You know what? I'm
like
not
this
doing this
tune,
anymore.
by the
We're gonna
way.
just do it. The social tickers. I can't type fast
Yeah,
enough.
that's perfect.
I'm not gonna. Yeah. Get mad at us and go find our social media. Nobody
yet.
Oh, right.
Let me see. Nice side conversation. North Hall +9.
Got him.
North Hall +9. Come on. I'll double down. Brickyard Magic, baby.
Calhoun +10 at Peach County.
Ooh, there you go. That's
Okay.
a good one.
Did we have some from Jeff?
No.
No. I just want to know that why we left North Gwinnett -17 on the board. I
Wait.
think this is a very close game.
It's North
so
Gwinnett
I'm going
plus, North Gwinnett
I
plus
think
17,
Buford-
right?
Yes, sorry, Buford -17 versus North Gwinnett. Don't know why that's still on the board, so I'm going to take it because I think it's a close game. And I mean, North Gwinnett's got a chance to win this game. I don't think that there's no chance that they win. So I think they definitely cover 17.
I really thought you were going to go with Hillgrove.
35 against Juju? I want to see what the line is next week with Carrollton versus whoever they play, though, because I think that's going to be an interesting line.
Well, guess what? We're going to see it come next week, what that line is.
I can't wait.
3 games. Yes, we still have 3 games on the air coming up this week. 94.5 delay. Well, you see them on the screen there. Yeah. Dude.
Last time this year, we'll have 3 games because, I mean,
That's right.
If we have 3 teams left, 2 of them play each other again.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, exciting times. A abbreviated tailgate show this week, right?
We'll be on at 6:30.
6:30 tailgate show. No scoreboard this week. But make sure you go to our X page at Friday Game Night to follow along with scores of our 3 games that we have on air and on the website this week, as you can check those out throughout the night. And don't forget to go to our Friday Game Night page on accesswdun.com for after the game for photos, highlight stories, and much, much more. For the entire crew here, enjoy the quarterfinals
Happy
of the
Thanksgiving.
GHSA
Happy
playoffs,
Thanksgiving,
and happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving.
Can we get?
There it
can
is.
We get, yeah, I was about to say, can we get another gobble gobble? One more for the road. One more uninterrupted for the road. Excellent. Bye, guys.
Great. Just a white.
I mean, I don't think so. Pretty
Great.
sure not at all.
Gravy on toast.
Bye.
Bye.